Good morning. You find me in Kintail today, and I'm gonna do the sisters first and then the brothers of Kintail. I'm gonna do it over 2 days. Got a big backpack with me, a tent and stuff. I'm gonna wild camp. Not sure which summit yet, but try and wild camp as close as I can to one of the summits. And it's a glorious day. It's a bit cold, but it's absolutely stunning. Nice way to start the hike. It's supposed to remain like this all weekend, so I'm just keeping my fingers crossed for a good hike. So head up here on this path. I think it's quite a steep one. What I've done is I've left my bike near my car near Clunian, and I've cycled all the way down Glenshiel, which is an incredible cycle because you don't have to do very much. A little bit of uphill to begin with, and then the rest is all downhill. So just cruise down. It took me just under an hour to do it. It's just about 14 miles, I think. So I'll pick you up when I'm further along the trail, and maybe gain a bit of elevation. I've got some nice views of the munros to come. I'll see you. Gained a little bit of elevation. I think only like a couple hundred meters, but I've had to come through a couple of these gates. You can see the path there, and then over this stile and heading up here. I think it's quite a steady, steep climb the majority of the way, but that's okay. I'm just taking my time. I've got 2 days to do this, so I know if people do this in a day, with a heavier pack and with the good weather, I'm just going to take my time and enjoy it. So I'm not far from gaining the ridge. I think it get to about 770 meters, and then you start taking in the ascent to the first munro. I've been coming up this glen up here, and there's a really decent path all the way up, and it's just steady right next to this stream. I'm looking to get up in between that, and then I'll start making my way up. I think it doesn't, I'm not sure if it's, I don't think it's this here. I think it's just further. It's tucked behind there where the sun is. So making good time. I think I've done about 2 miles so far of the hike, and I'm about 550, 600 meters, something like that, so it's not too far to go to get up to the start of the ridge. And then the views should start opening up to the north and to the south, which will be incredible. I'll bring you back up when I get to the ridge. I've just got to the Saileag, or the start of the ridge, and this is the view that greeted me. Look at this. I think that, I'm not sure if it's the first munro or the first top. I think it might be the first top. I think this is my way ahead, following that around. Look at the depth of that glen. That's the way I've come. Look at these views. I think that's the saddle, and then some of the South Glenshiel Ridge just beyond that. But there's the first munro. Not the one to the left, but the one in the middle. I'm not sure about the one behind, but this is my way across to the first munro. So still a little ways to go. That's the first munro. It is Skur Furan, something like that. Right, I'm going to try and make some more progress. Try and get over to that first munro. Stopped and had a bit of a drink before and something to eat. It was just nice. But I need to make some progress. I'd like to get up there for about lunchtime, have my lunch on top of the first munro, and then start picking my way over in the afternoon, get another 2 or 3 done, and then look for a nice pitch. Hopefully, there's been some parts that have been dead windy, although up here it's not windy at all. So I don't know if it's just funneling down the glen. Try and find a pitch that isn't too windy. So far nothing looks super flat, so let's keep my fingers crossed I can find somewhere. Right, so I'm nearly at the first munro, not at the top or anything, but nearly at the base to start heading up. There we go. I've skirted around one of the tops here, because I'm going to be going up and down enough without adding on extra summits. I figured it was best just to skirt around. I've just met 3 ladies and their dogs. I only realised they were there, and the black lab appeared out of nowhere. That was nice. And she's on her penultimate day. She's got the saddle and forking ridge to do, and that's her done, the munros. And friends aren't finished, but that's incredible. So I had a nice chat about, you know, bagging the munros and different things they've done. It's nice when you meet somebody on the hill who's doing the same thing as you and has been doing it longer, and you can, you know, ask some advice and some questions. It's just nice to meet up with different people, make 5-minute friends. Look at this. That's what I've got to go up. There seems to be a wall. Who's building a wall up here? Somebody must have. Boundary line or something. Anyway, let's bash on. The closer I get, the more intimidating it's looking. But I can see the path scouring its way up. It just goes up there in the middle and then up to the left to the summit. I think this is me on the summit of the first munro. This looks like the cairn. Oh, that was a pull. I've got some cramps in my leg. That wasn't much fun. There we go. First munro of the day, and it's very windy up here. I'm going to try and find a sheltered spot, but look at these views first. Out to Skye, saddle, brothers and sisters up there, and the South Glenshiel Ridge. You can see Ben Nevis in the background there as well. Wow, it's not a bad spot for having my lunch. So that's the, I think it's Canach. It's the second one in the middle of the screen, and then just to the left of it is the third sister, Kintail, and then this one here isn't a munro. I've got to go past it anyway, and that's Saileag, I think, which is the fourth munro. My plan is to get over to there by today, find somewhere over there to pitch if possible. The only problem is this wind. I think it's going to be a blustery camp, but it might die down. I doubt it. It's Scotland, it won't. But yeah, just sitting looking at the Couldnt Ridge over in Skye, and all these beautiful munros here. Share to Noidart. What a day for it. Gorgeous. Anyway, I'm going to go back to eat my mango, have some chocolate, and then I'm going to crack on and get this next couple of munros done before my next break. There's the second munro. It's quite close. I say close, it's relative, but it's pretty close. That's the second one, and then that's the third one. Bit boulder coming down, Sgwr Ffrahwn or whatever it's called, but again, another nice little path once you get down. That's takes me to the base of the second munro. I think it's Sgúr Canach, something like that. There it is. There's the first munro. Just pull up here. Doesn't look like anything on the camera, I'm sure, but it looks daunting in real life. And then on to the second, just there in the middle. Right, I'll catch up in a bit. I think this is the summit of the second munro. I'll put my phone out in a second and find out the name of the munro, just so I get it right. Ooh, another slog. Nice little bit of scrambling up that one as well. Proper hands to rock. Is the third munro and the first. Still stunning views. Getting very lucky today. So stop, have a drink, then I'm just going to head on. I'm not going to hang around too long, although the views are gorgeous. I just want to keep moving and enjoy the views as I'm going. So the name of this munro is Sgúr Canach. Just so I got it right. Again, can't beat these views on daylight today. I think I found the only sheltered spot. I've got my nice hood up because it is blowing a hoolie. Making it, I'm almost down off the second munro. I'm heading over to the third, just there, peak in the middle just there. Been a bit bouldery coming down that last one. It's actually up on the summit, sat there, probably big group arrived, chatting away to them. One of the lads went up to the summit to stand on the summit cairn. It looked like he was filming something as well, and he put his foot down on a big boulder and it like flipped, smashed his toes, so it looks like he's done for the day. He's not going to get the third sister, well, the third munro and the sisters. He might just be heading straight down. It's a bit gutting. It just shows you that it doesn't matter that you have all the gear and the knowledge and stuff, you can have the slightest of accidents. You know, the boulder looked solid. In fact, I think I'd already walked over it. I guess just the angle he took it from, it just flipped and he cracked his foot. So anyway, enough depressing stories. Yeah, I'm just going to make my way up and head over to the third munro for the day, and then keep cracking on, see how far I can get. I've been thinking, oh, I should push and try and get further and what have you, but I think I'm just gonna, when I get to the point where I'm like, that's me done for the day, I'm just gonna stop, find the best pitch I can, and chill out for the night. There's no point in rushing. There's no need to rush. I've got 2 days, so try and enjoy it as much as I can. I'm nearly at the summit. It's just there, the third munro. But look at the second and the first munros there. They look brilliant. Not much to go. Just like this little few boulders. I mean, so many boulders. And my legs, now and again, not all the time, but they keep cramping. So maybe need to get some salts. But I do actually have some, but they're in my bag in the car, so it's useless. But yeah, not long and I'll be at the top. I'll bring you back when I'm up there. That's me on the summit of Ciste Dubh. I think that's how you say it. Massive summit cairn. And again, same stunning views. There's the second munro and then the first munro. So I'm gonna I've taken my photos. I'm about ready to throw the pack back on and get going over to Saileag, I think that's how you say it. And it's a bit of a long walk over. Try and get that one done today as well, and maybe another. We'll just see how the legs are feeling okay so far. But it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but I don't want to be walking until sunset, so I'll keep going for a while, and then maybe look to make camp about 5 or 6, something like that, and then rest for the evening. It's been a long day. Cycled about 13 miles this morning, and so far I'm about 6 miles in just now, with lots of ascent. You come in to the first munro from pretty much sea level, and the first munro is like 1070 something, I think. So you're going, it's a lot of ascent for the old legs, and then you're dropping down a couple hundred meters to go back up again, and back down, back up again. These ones have been quite bouldery, but I was speaking to some folk here, and they were saying that the brothers aren't as bouldery, they're more grassy, so that should be nice on the feet, because getting a bit tired of boulder hopping. This is what I mean about the drop-offs. So I've got to go down there, and then across. Lots of ups and downs. Although you're on a ridge, the ridge isn't flat and straight for you. It's undulating, but still better than going up and down the full munro. There's the summit again. So let's get cracking. See you in a bit. Look at these rocks. Spikes. You got to go up over that, follow that all round. Never ending up and downs. That's the fun of it though, isn't it? Right. Keep going. I feel good now. I've got the three munros of the Sisters of Kintail. I think there's 5 sisters, but not all of them are munros. So I feel good that I've got them done. It's now the long walk over to the brothers, and then we'll see where we're at then. This is quite a nice little path. This looks slick. I'm making good progress heading over to Saileag, I think it's called. It's not been as bouldery, thankfully, or grassy. Nicer path, you can make a bit better time. I feel like on the boulders it just slows you down. You've got to pick your way through them, or make sure none of them are going to flip-flop on you. So, again, lovely views of the South Glenshiel Ridge. Over to the Forking Ridge and the saddle. I'm sure it's the Forking Ridge, I hope it is, otherwise I've been saying it wrong all day. I need to look at the map. But there we go. There's the first. There's Saileag, first of the brothers. And I think that's the second one behind. Really steep drop-offs. There's a view back to the Sisters of Kintail. Oh night, the wind seems to have dropped a lot, which is good. So I'm hoping that it won't be as blustery all night. I might even see what it's like on the top of Saileag and camp there. I'm not sure. Because it looks alright from here, but you never know. I just want to get somewhere decent for a pitch. I think I'll walk till maybe about 6 o'clock and then start looking. I'd say the wind's died down. There's the wind again. So I'm at the Saileag before heading up to Saileag, and just down here there's a trig, well, not a trig point, a little cairn, and I think this is the path that you take if you're coming up from the road. You can either do the the brothers if you go that way, or the sisters if you go that way. But I'm gonna head on up now. Again, it's got warmer, which is nice. Get the jacket off and cool down. Well, cool down. I was getting too hot in the jacket, but then it was too cold at the time, so one of those annoying have to keep the jacket on nonsense. But it seems to be a bit warmer now, which is nice. So let me head up and see if there's any spots to camp. If not, then I'll keep going and see if I can find something in the next beer. So I'm only about 50 metres of ascent away from the summit of Saileag. I keep turning around and stopping, one because I'm tired, but two because of this view. That's the 5 sisters there that I've done today, and I hope the GoPro is doing them justice, because my legs certainly feel like they've been put through the ringer. And what a glorious evening. It's about 10 past 5 now. I'm now considering what's best to do if I'm gonna camp on the summit, which I quite fancy doing because I quite like a summit camp and I've only done a couple of them, or if I'm going to push on and go down to the Bealach and maybe it's a bit less windy, a bit flatter. I don't know. I'm going to have a look when I get up to the summit and make my decision. But I've been on the go since like 7:30 this morning, I realised, because I cycled in about 13 miles and then I've done, I think by the time I get up to the summit of this, I've done over 9 miles and ridiculous amounts of ascent. So it's maybe worth just calling it and setting up camp and relaxing, letting my body chill out instead of pushing it too hard, and leaving myself with about 7.5 miles and 3 munros tomorrow. And the second brother, second munro and the brothers of Kintail isn't that far away from here. It's a short drop down and then back up again, so it could be done quite quickly first thing in the morning, and then on to the last brother of Kintail, and then go out and get Ciste Dubh. So I'll see when I get to the top, see what the lay of the land is, and make a decision there. But it's the sort of thing when you're wild camping and you're doing a couple of days, is that you have to make those decisions based on how you're feeling and the conditions. Because I've pushed myself too hard before and not enjoyed the camp, or been too sore for too sore or too tired to even eat, and yeah, it's just not the best. So I want to try and enjoy this and sit and enjoy that sunset when it eventually goes down. It's still quite high in the sky. I've still got a few hours before sunset. It's about 5 past 8, 10 past 8, something like that. But it'll be a beautiful sunset when it does come down. I think it'll be a nice hazy one as well. Hopefully some nice colours. There we go, the summit of Saileag. That's how you say it. So looking over there, looks a wee bit rocky. The thought was to maybe go down these and drop down another one, but I don't know. I'd have to walk over and have a look, see what it's like. There's a flat spot just here. Looks fairly good. Even like a bit of a grassier spot there, which might be more comfy. It's not too windy, and there's also a little bit of water down there, so I might be able to fill up. Hopefully it's not too stagnant. I've seen a couple of pools and they've looked fine, but then I've seen other pools and it's a definite no, taking water out of them. But there's one down there, so that'll be a short little walk down without a backpack. That wouldn't feel too bad. Gotta be honest, right now it feels like I'm leaning towards staying, putting the tent up just here, I think, and gives me a nice view for sunset. There we go, got the tent set up for the night in the flattest bit around. It's the Scarp, no, the tarp tent Scarp 1. It's pretty bulletproof, to be honest. I've had it in some pretty mad winds and didn't even shift. So, nice wee spot for the night, right next to the summit cairn. So I've set up, got my Neo Air X-Therm Thermarest mat, nice and warm. It's a bit overkill for this time of year, but I think if you've got the warmest sleep mat about, or one of the warmest, then you're not going to get cold, are you? And I found this, I've had a few pillows. I know some people don't use pillows and stuff like that, but I find it just, my neck kills otherwise. I've had a few and they've all been rubbish. I've not enjoyed any of them, and I found this, where is it, Flex Tail pillow. You see it, and this thing is brilliant. It is the most comfortable pillow I've had. It's blow up, but then it has like a, I don't know, like a slight foamy memory foam thing on the top. Don't know if it even is memory foam, but it is a brilliant pillow, and it has the strap that holds it down. So next thing to do is just get the sleeping bag out, and then I think I'll get some dinner on. Look at these views. Can't get over it. Look at this. There's the Five Sisters. I love how the shadow is getting played. But it's a bit hazy, but it looks incredible. Love a summer camp. You see, I'm all wrapped up, keeping warm. I've even got the buff on. I might get a woolly hat instead of this baseball cap soon. I think it's been one of those nights where you sleep in all your clothes. Good morning. It's about 10 to 7 and the sun is rising. Over the munros I've got to do, there's a lovely partial cloud inversion, especially in that direction, in the east. Seems to be pouring in a little bit. It was very windy last night. It's calmed down a bit now. There's still a slight breeze, but nothing anywhere near what it was last night. It woke me up a few times. I'm a pretty good sleeper. But yeah, that was flapping around a lot until I adjusted the tent. So I've grabbed out most of my gear. I'm going to pack up the tent and eat as I go. Look at these views. Perfect. Still morning. This is the summit of Saileag. Right, yeah, I'm going to get going. I'm going to pack this tent up and get everything reorganised in my bag. It's always a bit of a pain having to reorganise all your stuff. And then, yeah, get my way up to that munro and try and get there. Hopefully if I can get this all packed up, say by 7:10, something like that, I can be getting up there maybe by 8 o'clock, 7:30, something. And then, yeah, just keep making some good progress. Maybe get down, get these munros finished before lunchtime, and back down to the car. Right, I'll pick you back. Right, I've gotten into the lowest point between the two munros, Saileag and the next one. I need to figure out what its name is first, and starting to make the reascent, the ascent up, not the reascent, the ascent up, and just following this, you can see it with the sun glaring in. Nice little ridge. Like I said yesterday, these munros seem to be a bit grassier and less bouldery than the sisters, so it's making the going a bit faster because you're not dodging between rocks. I say that, another big pile of rocks up here, but the majority of it looks grassy, which is nice. So I'll just navigate up here. There you go. You can see down to the road and separate the South Glenshiel Ridge, and the brothers and sisters of Kintail. This looks like the final pull up to the first munro of the day. That's me up to the main part, and we have to go along here, and there's the summit of the munro right in the middle there. Still a little ways to go, not too far though. What a gorgeous morning. It's 8:10. Look at this cloud inversion. Sorry. I don't know if it's an inversion, but yeah, there's debate on if you call it an inversion or not, I don't know. But it's beautiful anyway. What a morning. Still a bit of snow lingering around. You can see the summit again. It's quite a big one. It's following this nice path over. I was just musing to myself that this has been one of the most enjoyable hikes I'm around. Sure, there's to stick out, obviously, like the munros and fisher fields and Saileag and things while you're attacking. But like for a hiking trip with wild camp, and I think with my selection of gear and my pack weight and everything considered, it's one of the better ones. I guess it's always better when you've got gorgeous views like this. Just a couple of people yesterday said it'd be a good idea to drop your bag and just scramble over, because it's quite an exposed rocky ridge out to the munro. I see what they mean. On the summit. Wow, what a mad scramble to get up here. Turn around, take a seat. So my bag's just at the bottom of that rocky bit there, and that's the way I've got to go to get to the second munro, and then that's Ciste Dubh back down, and then I go down between, I think maybe into that cloud. So it could end up being a bit grey by the time we get down at the bottom. I can't complain. These views are spectacular. That's me just off the summit of Skur at Saileag. I'm sure that's how you say it. I just got back to my hiking poles in my bag. And then I follow this path round and up to the second munro of the day and my 6th of the trip so far. And once I've got this, that's me about to start heading up the final munro in the Brothers Ridge, and just up this way. You can see the final munro I've got to do of this round that I'm doing is Ciste Dubh. So it looks like I've got to follow this path up and over here and then onto the summit. I think it's Maiden, something like that. I'll double check. And then it's down and up Ciste Dubh. Ciste Dubh looks really small compared to this. I say small, it'll still be nothing. Look at this little gnarly ridge going up. I think you could go over the pinnacles if you wanted to, but there's a bypass. I'll probably go, not sure, might go over the pinnacles and then up. It's not that far now. Surprised. It's not taking me too long to get over here. This is the summit of the last brother of Kintail. Whew. That pool is steep. There we go. On the summit. Fantastic. And just one more munro to go for the day, and I can call it a day and get down. There's the second munro of the brothers that I did, the first one this morning. Doesn't look as impressive as how it felt when I was on it. I guess because it's a knife edge ridge and we're seeing it the flat side. There's the South Glenshiel ridge, looking magnificent. And just down there is Loch Cluny, and just tucked behind that should be the Cluny Inn, which is where my car is parked near. Right, let's get some photos and then get some liquids and get headed off to get Ciste Dubh. That's me heading off from the summit of Anach, Midon, I don't know. And from the routes I've seen to pick up Ciste Dubh, which is just there by the way, you've got to head over here and then drop down. Whew. Yeah, drop down there to that little Saileag. It's a fair drop, and then reascend up. I think I can see a path of sorts. I'll have a look as I'm going down, try and pick my way towards a path. It's always easier on a path. And you can see I'm on the summit of the last hill. There's Anach Midon there. So I'm just going down up into this, and I need to drop down this to then reascend up to Ciste Dubh and back down. I don't know if you can see it, but just there at the very bottom, just before the drop off of this mountain, you can see the path scored in for the way out. So once I've done, there's Ciste Dubh, not far from the bottom now, running low on a bit of water, and found this lovely stream. So I'm going to fill up my water bottle, hydrate myself a bit, probably take on quite a bit of water because it's starting to warm up, and then I think I'm going to make for just there, and then the path seems to go up the hill there and then across to Ciste Dubh and then back down. All sounds easy, isn't it? I'm gonna get some water and then I'll pick you back up when I'm down there. Picked up a path now at the bottom, so I've dropped down from there. It's a bit pathless after a little while, but just where that stream is in the middle, that's where I came down, filled up some water there. And I come down here and I found a little trail. I'm sure I can see the path scored in, heading up. So I'm just hoping that this continues. There's definitely footprints all over this, so keep my fingers crossed that it leads to a decent path. Doesn't have to be spectacular, just a goat trail would be enough. For the first time since I left yesterday, I can see where my car is. Obviously I can't see my car. I'm right down to the bottom there, just at the head of the loch. It's cleaning in and my car is just parked down there. I'm about 700 metres up. Ciste Dubh. It's a bit boggy and wet down the bottom. A couple of bit of midge loitering around, but they're gone now that it's a bit of a breeze. Just that little bit, just there. But I can see my path out, see the 4x4 track I'm going to take and get out here. And then so it's just this near vertical climb to do and then go over to Ciste Dubh. So I can finally see the summit now. You can see the path, it's the second peak just there. Whew. Looks manageable now. Looks like there's a bypass over this little point which will save my legs. And then one last pull, well maybe one last pull up to that flat section and then a little pull up to the summit. And then it'll pretty much be all downhill. I can't wait for that. Right, I'll pick you back up when I'm near the top. Hopefully this gives some sort of scale of how far I've walked. So that peak there is the first munro that I did. And this peak here and this peak here, I came up there down a very, like a big long glen. So from there, where am I? There, all the way around up here, up there, down this, up this, and finally Ciste Dubh, last munro, 7th munro of the trip and final munro of the trip. I'm goosed. Whew. That's a steady pull up this one. Oh, I think as well with having hiked all that and carried a big pack and yeah, it just took a bit out of us. Not far to go. It's quite narrow, some sheer cliffs on the side. I don't want to tumble either of these sides. Hopefully it's a good path. 5-10 minutes I'll be up. There we go. The summit of Ciste Dubh. To be honest, I kind of hope there'll be more than a tiny little piddly pile of rocks. The effort it takes to get up here. Maybe it doesn't take much effort if it's just a single munro day, but it took effort for me. I wanted more. Wow. Stunning views. Dead place. Right, I'm going to get this backpack off, have something to eat, have something to drink, check in back home, and then get off this mountain and get back to the car. One last view of all the munros I did this weekend. Ciste Dubh. There we go. Just making my way down. Come down quite quickly so far. I saw this and got a bit worried, then remembered that there's a bypass. If I can avoid doing any more reascent, then I'd definitely appreciate it. A few folk going up as I passed them. One of them said he thought the cairn looked a bit funny. He didn't realise it was blue and figured it was somebody sat there. It was me eating my lunch. Beautiful spot to have my lunch. But I'm going to keep going, get past this section. This bit's not too bad. It's when it drops down and gets a bit steeper. It gets wet, so I have to just be a bit more careful, because it'll be slippy. And then once I'm down off that steep section, the wet steep section, it'll just be the long trek out. So, but at least there's a 4x4 track at some point, which I'm going to try and pick up, because although walking on these little paths are fine, a nice big wide 4x4 track takes out all the thought and I can just trudge to get back to the car. Right, I'm down at the Saileag, between the two hills. I've spoken to loads of people on the way down. Every 5 minutes there was somebody new coming up, so definitely timed it right. Had the summit to myself. Yeah, there was a nice mix of different people, old, young. I met a lass who was out with her brother and sister, and they didn't look brother and sister-in-law, or one of them, and yeah, they didn't look too happy that she'd dragged them up here. Met a couple old folk taking it nice and slow. Something I like about the munros, there isn't like an age limit. You know, if you do some sports, you can only do it for so long. You know, because it gets competitive or it gets difficult. But yeah, it was nice to meet everybody. Had a good chat. Somebody down at the bottom as well talking with their dog, and yeah, just nice to bit of socialising after a couple of days of pretty much being alone. Right, I'm on this kind of 4x4 track. I guess it's a 4x4 track. There's just a lot of water on it. Anyway, whew, that was a bit of a buggy slog to get here, but still, it doesn't dampen the enjoyment of the trip so far. Saw a couple of paragliders. They must have come off the last brother, and looked like they were just enjoying themselves in the slight breeze. Well, I often thought that'd be a good idea. Do the munros and then just paraglide off. That's a hell of a lot of stuff to carry up. Right, well, I'm going to finish the video here and just give you my rating. I'd give this a 10 out of 10. I've absolutely loved this trip. It has been such a good hike. The munros are all good, they're all interesting. They're all got good paths on them. Like I said before, the navigation is pretty darn good, because you just follow the path. You don't really have to think that much on it. Imagine if it's flagged in, it would be a bit harder, but still there's a path. I never had to really search around for the path, except from getting across from Ciste Dubh to Ciste Dubh. But that was only because it was quite a faint path. But I picked it up pretty quickly. Yeah, love these munros. I definitely will come back and do them again. Probably do them in just like sets of 3 instead of doing the big traverse. But it's been good. I'm going to put the camera down now. So thanks for watching, and hopefully you'll follow me on another munro trip that I do. Hopefully I'll be back again in May. Fingers crossed for more weather like this. Right, stay safe out there, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.